Good morning. So, dating in your 40s, part 5. This one's a good one, and I'm actually looking for feedback on this one. So, what is the general consensus when it comes to asking somebody out? If I ask you out, which I don't have a problem doing if I'm feeling it, I don't have a problem, saying, hey, do you want to go, meet for drinks or go for dinner or even breakfast? I mean, breakfast is great too. So I'm asking you, and there's my intention to pay. If a man asks me out, do I assume that he's paying, or do we wait for the bill to come and have that awkward silence about who's picking up the bill? Do I take it? Does he take it? Do we go half? Do I offer? What's the general consensus or the unwritten rule when it comes to that? I always thought growing up that if a man asks you out, it's his intention to pay. Now, as a woman, I'm not going to take advantage of that, and I'm okay with going halves, but any time I've been asked out, I've always, in the back of my mind, I set myself up just in case, just to make sure that I can cover that bill. Because depending on where you go, sometimes the bill's a little bit higher than you anticipated, and depending on how many drinks you have, even though you don't want to overindulge, especially on a first or second date, you want to keep your head on straight a little bit. But what's everybody think? Like, how am I right in assuming that if I ask, I pay, if you ask, you pay?
And here's the correct answer to that question. The correct answer is you don't go to dinner on a first date. That's what we used to do back in the day. Things aren't done that way anymore, and I don't advise doing those things anymore, because back then, at least back in the 90s and even the 80s and before, when you went on a date with a woman and she accepted, and you say you went to dinner, most times the guys would pay, right? And the reason why, as the airplane flies right over here, I'm by an airport, the reason why we didn't mind paying for the date back then, the dinner, was, it was not that expensive back then. It was only like 25 bucks, right, for two people. It's not like it is now where it's crazy. I just went to freaking Lazy Dog because I'm able to bring my animals there, right? The Lazy Dog for like me and the person that I was with. I mean, between two of us, we had like salads, hamburgers, French fries. It was like $100. I'm like, are you kidding me? And so it's expensive to go out these days. It's not like before. However, not to get off track here. Back in the day, in the 80s, 90s, you would go to dinner with the girl, even on the first date. However, most times that chick would end up becoming your girlfriend, or something would happen, right? You would, you would end up with that chick, right? It was almost guaranteed to a certain degree, right? Not all the time, but many times that chick would become your girlfriend. Whereas these days, if you're taking the girl to dinner on a first date, you're a sucker. Okay? Do not take her out on a first date, because you'll have things like this pop up. Like, many times she will expect you to pay, right? This chick seems at least cool about it, right? She'll front half the bill. I appreciate that. I really like women who do that, by the way. I really like women who at least offer. Okay? Who at least offer. So, because there are a lot of broads out there who will just sit there. But as I was saying, these days, if you are taking the woman to dinner, there is very little guarantee, very little, there's not much chance that she's going to become your girlfriend, especially if you're taking her to dinner, because Chad don't take these girls to dinner, right? He doesn't do all that, right? Personally, what I recommend my students to do is just go for coffee, right? Coffee's like $2. Nah, I don't care who pays, right? That's not a big deal. No problem. I can afford $2. And many times if I instigate the girl, I will just, buy her the $2 coffee, because I'm taking the day away from her. I'll be like, oh, just come with me, and let's go grab coffee. I'll buy you a free cup of coffee or something, whatever. It's like $2, and not a big deal, right? It's practically free. So there's none of that, and you're getting to know each other through the coffee date, and then usually if things go well, I mean, the next activity could be something where maybe you do go to dinner, right? And then you could kind of figure out like, okay, well, where are we going, right? Where are we going? And why not go back to your place after? Let's go to dinner. I'll take you to dinner, and then you can make me dessert at your place, right? Or you could pop on a movie at your place after, right? You kind of mix it in there, so it's kind of like, oh, okay, we're going to her place after, and she's gonna pay me back somehow. It doesn't always have to be financially, like, oh, whip out your wallet and give me that $20 you owe me for your plate. No, she could be like, oh, I cooked up a pie, and you could have some of that when we get back to my place, right? Then you can cuddle, you could get romantic and all that, and it becomes worth your while, right? So it really, really depends. But first date, dinner, when you haven't, gotten to know each other, you haven't even kissed or anything, no, right? Most times you're just going to waste your time, right? Because if she's really interested, you know, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't even be a big deal, right? But let me know if you've ever made the mistake of taking a girl out on the first date recently. Let me know. We'll fix that. Next clip.
So it's been about 4 months since I've been on an app, and so I decided to go on one last week just for shits and gigs. Let's see what's going on. And I was quickly reminded why I have stayed away. So you know how the story goes. You match with someone, you text a little bit, and then you end up sometimes having a conversation on the phone, which I prefer because then I can really see if there's a vibe. So after maybe a few minutes of surface questions, which I wouldn't dismiss someone for that because, I mean, we're basically strangers just having a conversation, so it could be awkward. But what I wasn't prepared for were the series of questions that were following the surface question. As we were talking, he was looking at my profile and he said, "Well, I noticed you don't have children." I said, "Right, that's correct." He said, "So did you want a family or what was the problem?" I'm like, whoa, that was pretty direct. He said, no, I wanted a family. And he said, "Oh, I guess then it was the guy's problem, right?" I said, no, it wasn't the guy's problem. And he said, I kid you not. He goes, "Well, then what was the problem?" Almost like, it was like an interrogation. And I said, I swear I was polite. I swear. I said, this is a heavy topic for me. And I'm not comfortable having this conversation with you at this moment. And then there was silence. And I thought for a split second that we got disconnected, but no, this hung up on me. So of course he unmatched me, shocker. But what I wasn't prepared for was the aftermath of that conversation, because I haven't spoken or thought of my infertility journey in so long. I mean, I've compartmentalized that part of my life, and it's clear that I have other work to do here. It just doesn't involve having biological children. I mean, I'm in my 50s. That ship has clearly sailed. But, dating and getting into conversations with strangers, there's a million things we could talk about. But please, gentlemen, do not ever ask a woman why she doesn't have kids. It's just so inappropriate.
Okay, there's absolutely nothing inappropriate with asking a woman why she doesn't have kids. I think that's very appropriate if you are trying to get to know each other, especially on a romantic basis. You're going to ask questions like that. I mean, you don't know how many women have peered into my, my journey and asked me, like, "Why aren't you married? How come you never had kids?" And I tell them, right? I'm pretty honest, right? It just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time, and I didn't, So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, this woman is just, But I mean, to the guy's point, I'd like, why is that such a big deal anyway? I mean, to the fact like he hung up on her, he might have just been using that as an excuse to get rid of her. But dude, like, hung up on her and unmatched her and all this other stuff. But I think she probably did come off a little rude or naggy, and because she said at the end, like, "Gentlemen, don't ask a woman that question. It's inappropriate." Yeah, once you start coming with that attitude, right, and you don't look like, like a 21-year-old, runway model, you're not gonna get away with that. Dudes will just unmatch you and be done with it. And rightfully so. Like, I don't want to deal with your attitude, kind of stinks. So yeah, but those kind of questions are definitely to be expected. I mean, yeah, if I'm interested in someone, and even during a cold approach, I mean, I literally meet these chicks in like venues. I will start peering away if I'm interested. I'm like, oh yeah, what happened to the last guy? And why didn't that last? How long were you with him? I mean, I want to know these things because I don't want to waste my time either, right? And when she asked me those same questions, it's fine. I don't care. I'll answer them, right? That's part of getting to know each other and being transparent. Otherwise, what are we doing here, right? Why are you at the club? Get out. As always, drop your comments below. Sun's obviously gone down, and this is the last coaching video of the night. So drop your comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. So I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell up top so you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video. Also, more importantly, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton when you guys actually subscribe to the channel. It tells YouTube you are digging my content, you're feeling me, you want me to produce more content for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And for you guys who want to support my work, support my channel, and support everything I'm teaching guys here even further, the best way to do that is to get into my monthly online coaching program, 7 months to mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the hottest women on the planet. I'm talking 8s, 9s, and 10s. The same exact type of women that myself and my students are approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, we do this every single week. And all of these women, by the way, guys, are under 30 years old. Okay, they're all under 30. Our prime demographic is from 18 to 29. But what myself and my students mostly focus on are those late teens, early 20s, when women are at their peak physical attractiveness. Those are the type of women that I approach and that I teach you how to approach. So if you want to support my work and learn how to pick up hot women in the process, jump into 7 months of mastery. The first month is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. So it's only $1, guys. So take advantage of it. Click that link below. It'll take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It only takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.